Alright, so there's a debate online right now about which one is better, Antigravity or Claude Code. Today we're gonna settle this by building the same agentic workflows and the same app in both. And we're gonna rate them on speed, not only how fast they are, but how fast I can work with them, on output quality, on ease of use, how easy it is for someone non-technical to use them, on how well can it plan, on context, does it remember what I said 5 minutes ago, and on overall builder experience. So without further ado, let's start. Okay, so in order to download Antigravity, just search on Google for Antigravity. Awesome, and you'll have a download button right here. And then the app should look something just like this. Great, now let's do the same for Claude Code. They don't have an app developed, so you have to use it as an extension. What that means is that you have to download VS Code. So search on Google for VS Code and then download it. Go right here on extensions and search for Claude Code for VS Code. Then download it and install it. Awesome, then you'll have this button right here which you can click and then it will open the chat window. See, this one right here. You'll also have to log in with your Anthropic account. I'm on the Pro subscription for both Antigravity and Claude Code. Now, both of these two tools have the concept of skills. These are helpful when you want to run the same things the same way every time. So let's search for the documentation for both of them. Antigravity skills and open the docs. And then let's search for Claude Code skills. And then open the docs. Awesome. Now the first thing we'll do in both of them is create a skill that creates all our other skills. So both of them run on a folder on your PC. So go ahead and do that. Click right here on open folder. I'm gonna create a new one called Antigravity demo. And now you should see this on the left side. Okay, now let's go to Claude. Click on open folder right here. And again, I'm gonna create a new one called Claude demo. Now let's actually create that skill that we just discussed. So go back to the documentation. Let's start with Claude. So copy it from here until the end. Then go back to Claude. Create a skill that creates all our other skills in the root directory. Then paste it and send. Now let's go to the documentation for the Antigravity skills. So again, copy it. Then go to Antigravity. Create a skill that creates all our other skills in the root directory and paste it again. Let's see what Claude did. Okay, prove. We can make it run for itself, but I want to check what it's actually doing right now. Now let's also check on Antigravity. It created a plan and it's running. It didn't ask me anything yet. Now it's trying to create the directory. Awesome, yes. Let's check on Antigravity. It created the plan beforehand. So I'm using Antigravity with Gemini 3 Pro, their best model available, and I'm using the planning mode. And I'm just gonna tell you to proceed with the plan. Then I'm gonna go back to Claude. Now on the left side we can check the actual skills. So it created the directory .claude, then skills, then create skills, and it created its skill.md. Awesome. Now we can right click and open preview so we can see it looking all better. Okay, so it actually took the examples from the documentation. Maybe I wasn't explicit enough, and it added these as examples, as skills to create, and we don't want that. That's wrong. I just want a skill creator with no real examples yet. It must be a blueprint for creating all our other skills. And let's send it. Now let's check Antigravity. It's trying to create a directory, the same thing that Claude did. And let's run it. Okay, Claude finally did what we asked it to do. It created a blueprint for all our other skills. Now let's go to Antigravity. It actually created a Python script for creating these skills, which we don't really need. But let's run it and see what it does. It could have used just this MD file right here. Okay, I have created a skill creator skill. You can now use it to easily create new skills by running the included Python script. Okay, let's accept the file changes. Awesome, I don't want a Python script. The MD file should be enough. Add instructions on how to create the skills and the structure they have. Okay, so for both I haven't been clear enough. So they are both fixing the problems that I've told them to fix. It's trying to remove the script it just created. Let's run it. It updated the skill. Let's accept the file changes and check it. It did remove the script, so I don't understand why it is still here. I think we have to refresh the Project Explorer. So press on this button right here and it worked. We only have the skill MD file now. Now I'm gonna do this one by one so we see how they work, so we don't get confused, because we're gonna build an agentic workflow that we'll be keeping as a skill. I'll make both of them generate content for my AI agency because I really need to do that right now. and I really want to get something useful out of this, I'm just gonna mention the skill. So at skill, and it should be the one in skill creator. So we need to generate a skill that creates content for my automation agency's Instagram page, Adona.ai. I'm not a designer or a photography expert, so ask me questions on how I want the content to be. You'll need to create a script for this, and we're gonna be using OpenAI. We're gonna be using the planning mode, so we see what it does beforehand or what it wants to do. We're gonna use the best model available, and let's send it and see what it does. Okay, now it asked me some questions that I can just answer here. I want minimalist tech, automation tips plus AI news. For output format, do you want the script to generate just the caption? Okay, I want to generate actual images plus captions. Use OpenAI's latest image generation model. Then tone of voice, I want it to be friendly. Then brand colors, I'm just gonna go with teal plus orange for accents. Now I'm gonna give them some additional details because they aren't trained on real recent data, so I'm just gonna go ahead and search for OpenAI's API docs and drop the documentation right here. So OpenAI image API docs, let's search for them, it's the one right here. Then I'm gonna press on the image generation endpoints right here. Then we want to create images, not edit them, so click on create image. And it's gonna open this documentation. It has an example of how to use it. It has the latest models, the body parameters in it. Awesome. So let's just copy the markdown, go back to Antigravity, open AI API docs, and then we just paste them. And let's send it. See, I didn't give it any specific instructions yet on how I want my images to be. Let's see what it does out of the box. Okay, it created the implementation plan. So let's go over it this time because it's a bit more complex. The goal is to create a skill that generates Instagram content, caption plus images for Adona AI, an automation agency. Awesome. The script will require an OpenAI API key, environment variable to function. It will use their latest model. It found this in the docs. It added the content strategy, then the style guide. It accepts a topic argument, so we can give it a topic and then it will create a post on it, which is awesome. I haven't thought of that. I wanted them to be more random. Now let's proceed with the implementation. I love step 3 right here, the image prompt generation. It doesn't directly send the idea. It has a step where it creates a prompt for generating that image based on our style and on what we've sent it. Okay, it's trying to create the folders for the skill, so let's run it. Okay, looks like it created a skill, also it created a script. It's running a dry run and we can refresh right here. This didn't happen before. I think it's just a recent bug. So we have to refresh Explorer manually by clicking on this button right here. Now we can see that it added the Instagram content creator skill. It didn't add any examples. It just created empty folders for the skill structure because this is what we've told it to do in the skill creator skill. Awesome. I've created the image content creator skill. You can now generate content using the following command. Okay, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna try to run it through this chat interface right here. But remember to set your OpenAI API key variable first. So let's tell it, create a .env file where I can put my API key. And let's get an API key from OpenAI. API key is right here, create new secret key. I'm just gonna name mine test with a lot of T's because I'm gonna delete it after this video because you'll see it right here. I don't want to make this public. And I've just copied it, done, back to Antigravity. And now if I refresh, I should see the .env file. So click on it and paste your key. Awesome, save this, don't forget to save. And it is done, but it also updated the Instagram content creator skill. Create a .env file in your workspace root with your API key. Already it is. This shouldn't be a permanent step in this skill. Let's test it as it is. Okay, so in order to run it, just mention it at skill, the one from Instagram content creator. And let's create an image on this topic right here, Antigravity versus Claude Code. And let's see what it does. Now it's trying to install the libraries it needs for the Python script. So let's run it. Okay, now it's running the script. It's drafting the caption, it's designing the image, it's rendering the image, and we just did a bad request for image generation. Now let's see if it self-heals or we have to tell it how to fix it. Okay, and it updated the script. Let's see what it did. So now we see the whole error. So let's run it. Accept the file changes. Unknown parameter response format. Awesome. So it found the exact problem. It pinpointed what happened, which I love because it self-healed. We didn't have to tell it anything. Now let's run it again. Content generated successfully. Let me refresh the project explorer to see if it added anything here. And it did. It added the image and the txt file. Okay, it's trying to copy something into this. Let's see what it does. Oh, so it just wanted to display it for us right here. Let's see how the image looks. Okay, it's too thicky. You can see that it was AI generated from miles away. This is the kind of image where we focus on the description, so it should be something educational or maybe send us to this YouTube video. So we'd have to play with the style a bit on what content we wanted to generate. Now let's check the description for it. So it's actually educational. So Antigravity excels in dynamic task management, while Claude Code is your go-to from seamless code integration. Awesome. But we'll have to adjust the style because I don't quite like it. For the purpose of this demo, this is enough for this skill. Let's go to Claude Code and see what it does, sending the same prompts. So let's start from scratch. Let's just copy what we've sent Antigravity. Go to Claude. Let's try to mention the skill from create skills, and then let's paste the prompt. Awesome. Let's see what it does. I forgot to switch to planning. So I'm gonna stop it, switch to planning, plan mode right here. And then we're gonna do it again. So skill from create skills and then paste it, send. And now we'll be able to compare by doing the exactly same thing on both. Okay, so this is actually awesome. So it gave me the questions in this format. We have some different questions. We want educational tips, awesome. Behind the scenes, okay, let's go to the next question right here, friendly. Now for the script output, is the same question that Antigravity asked us, but it didn't mention the images right here. So let's say other. I want to generate the actual images and the captions for them. And then let's check the last question. Okay, target audience should be business owners and entrepreneurs. So let's go ahead and submit the answers. Now it's gathering more information. I want a clean and minimalist style. Okay, what I want as the input, Antigravity actually decided it requires a topic, but I'm sure that I can send it also the key message. But let's just say right here, topic plus key message. Now let's just go with the topic because we want to keep it simple. One Polish result. Okay, awesome. Submit answers. Because it asked us the questions just with already defined answers, we haven't been able to send the OpenAI docs as we did for Antigravity. So it will be using a worse GPT model. So give us the plan in this chat window instead of creating a file for us. Proceed with the plan, but use these docs from OpenAI. Let's just copy and paste them again. I still have it open right here. Copy, markdown, copy, and then paste it. Awesome. Okay, allow the creation of folders. I don't have to refresh here, but again, in Antigravity, that's maybe just a bug that will be solved soon. Allow write. I gave it the same docs, but it's using an older model, which I don't really like and I don't understand why. Okay, it generated a script. Let's check it. Okay, right here, GPT image 1. And it chose a lower quality, so Antigravity chose high and this one chose medium. It's creating a directory for the posts, which is awesome, more structure than Antigravity gave us. Now we have to tell it to use their latest models. And let's actually search for the models. GPT image 1.5, it's this one right here, copy it and paste it in Claude. And now let's also tell it about the environment file and create a .env file where I can paste my OpenAI API key and send. It's switched to GPT. No, what did it do? Okay, now it's switching to GPT 1.5. It created the .env file. Allow write. We should be able to see it right here. Okay, awesome. Now let's paste the key. Let me copy it again because I lost it. I think I need to create a new one with more T's. Create secret key. Copy. Then paste it right here and save. Don't forget to save. It is done. Tell it to run at skill and use the one from Instagram post, this one. Let's see what it actually generated inside before. So if the user hasn't provided a topic, ask what's this post about? Give me a topic or a brief idea. Run the, okay, and then it runs the Python script. Okay, awesome. Antigravity versus Claude Code. I like the way Claude is interacting better than Antigravity. It's just giving us these options right here, which I love. Proceed with what it wants to do. It worked. Here's what was generated. So it's inside this post right here. Let's see the caption text. It gave us a hook, a body, and a CTA. Also, it has structure, but I can just copy and paste it. We can just tell it to modify this. Ever wonder which AI tool could save you more time? Okay, I like the caption for this one better. So it created the prompt a bit better than Antigravity did. Let's check the image. This is too simple. It tried to reproduce the logos, but they don't look the same at all. For this, we can just enhance the skill and tell it to generate based on the logos it has available. This is what I did for one of my other skills in the past and it worked great. For the image, I like the prompt that Antigravity generated better, but still we can work on these just by telling it to update this specific skill. Now in both of them I also want to build an app, and the app should use the skill we already have. So I want an app that helps me schedule my posts. Just a simple one, nothing complex. I just want to see how well they can plan and make use of what they already have. So I'm trying to see if they still use the context they have in their current windows and how well they take advantage of it. So I'm gonna start with Antigravity. Build me a simple Instagram content calendar app in React. As for the caption and the image, I need you to use the results from the Instagram content generator skill. I want to see them in a small library, add a title to each post, drag them into a calendar to schedule, click a post to edit the title or time, move posts around it by dragging, save everything locally so it's not lost on refresh. And then I told it to plan it, even if I'm on planning mode. So let's send it. And it already created the implementation plan. Awesome, let's see. The goal is to build a simple local first web application, Insta Planner, for scheduling and managing Instagram content generated by the Instagram content creator skill. This will be a client-side React application. To import content, you will drag and drop the generated image and the text files directly into the application library sidebar. Okay, no, it's storing this into the browser index.db. Now the best thing that Antigravity does is that the plan it creates is a file and you can comment on it. So let's tell it. I don't want to add the content myself, so use a JSON file in the project's root directory, but for that I don't think we can just use React, maybe switch to Next.js. So basically it needs a backend to read the content we have on our device. Replan based on the comments. And now, I don't know if this is fair, but I have more context for Claude Code right now. I can tell it directly to use Next.js instead of React. Now I'll send it the same prompt, let's see what it does. Okay, the goal is to build a local first Next.js application Insta Planner that manages Instagram content. Okay, it will read and write to a content JSON file in the workspace root, which is populated by the Instagram content creator skill. Awesome. Let's proceed with the implementation. First, it updated the skill to support this new file we're gonna have. I like how it adapts. It doesn't just use what we already have. It tries to create a better system. And now it's trying to create the next app. Let's see. Now it will try to install all the libraries it mentioned in the first plan. Let's run it. Let me just close this because I can see the whole menu right here. And it is done. So it's running. It installed the dependencies. It created the app. Let me refresh to see it. It's right here, Insta Planner. I don't need it to be secure because this will only run on my local, so I'm okay with everything it does. But in a future video I'll show you how to keep the apps you create vibe coding secure and safe, how to run security audits on them, implementing UI components and drag and drop logic. I'm also gonna rate them on which one looks the best because it's really an important factor that the app has. Awesome, let's close this so we can see our skills more clearly. I completed the implementation of the Insta Planner app. And now it's trying to run the app. It's actually building it for production. I don't know why it's doing so. Maybe to check if everything works fine. The app is ready. Okay, it closed the app. It just verified that it works. So we have to start it ourselves, which is okay because now we have more control. It gave us a lot of file changes. So let's just accept them. Now it's telling us how to run it. So let's open a terminal. So let's cd to Insta Planner and then npm run dev. And it gave us a link. Let's copy it. Go to Chrome and paste it. There's nothing here which is expected, but it looks awesome. It took the teal and the orange that we have for our brand from the previous skill, so it has context of the current conversation, which I love. I don't have to mention all these things. Now let's actually create a new post with our skill and see if it appears here. Okay, so let's mention the skill from Instagram content creator. Let's first delete the other two files it generated so they don't clash with each other. Antigravity versus Claude Code. Which one is better? Now let's send. Done. Content generated successfully. Let's refresh the project explorer. Close the Insta Planner. And we have this new file called content.json. And in here it stores the paths. Now let's see the image. This one is actually better. It has some text. This is educational. The style is exactly as I've told it to be. I'll change it a bit because I want to go more on the dark aesthetic. Now, let's check the app. I'm nervous. Let's refresh it. And it's right here. Let's schedule it for today. Awesome. Let's refresh and see if it worked from the first try. I can't believe it. So we have the scheduler for our post, which works great. We can move it. We can refresh. It says there. I'll just generate a new one to see if it works with two different elements. I'm going to skip ahead so I don't waste your time. It is done, let's refresh the app, and it's right here, let's drag and drop it. And now we can move it around and we can refresh, everything works, awesome. Now we could add more functionalities, we can deploy it, we can sell it to customers, and we just built it in a couple of minutes. It worked from the first prompt, this is incredible. Now let's do the same in Claude Code and see what it does. Let me close the app right here so they don't overlap, and let's see what prompt I've sent Antigravity. I'm gonna send the exact same one. Again, I'm gonna go with the plan mode and send the prompt. I'm just gonna close this image because I don't like it at all. Okay, let's see the plan. I can leave comments here. I just have to use this right here. Build a local React app that regenerated posts from posts directory and lets the user schedule them on a drag and drop calendar. Everything persists locally on disk. Okay, this is awesome. So Antigravity didn't think about creating a server because I told it to work with React. I told Claude the same thing, work with React, but he realized that he has to expose a server to read the posts, which is awesome. I'm just gonna tell it to use Node because it's gonna create 2 apps and we just want one. Run the plan but use Next.js instead of what he suggested we should use. And let's end. Now it updated the plan and it's not running yet. Let's just accept it. I don't understand why it switched to edit automatically right now. It's not asking me if I wanted to run these commands. I would have chosen this option as well, but I would like to have a bit more control over it. The settings we have for Antigravity, let me show you. We can set them up right here, settings, Antigravity user settings, and we have some policies that we can adjust. We can ask for request review or stuff like that. So we have more control over what it does than we have right here in Claude Code. In here we can just switch from the modes. We can make it edit automatically, edit with review, so it's asking me whether I want it to run a command or not, or we have the plan mode. We have a bit more control on Antigravity than we have on Claude Code. This one is actually explaining me what it's doing a bit better than Antigravity, which I like, but for someone non-technical that's trying to build an app doesn't really matter. I think Antigravity is a bit more accessible for non-technical people. We are transitioning to using an IDE not just for coding. We are using it for agentic workflows, for doing stuff. So instead of using ChatGPT in the browser, people are now using Antigravity to run their own skills on their own computer and on automating stuff they do daily. It's trying to run npm install, so I think it's done. Everything is working. Run it with npm run dev. Awesome. Okay, so it actually added it to the root directory, which is crazy. This is not structured. It didn't create a new directory for the app, but that's okay. But now it's a bit messy because you have an app together with the skills. Okay, I don't really like that. We could have told it to store it in a separate folder, or we can tell it that right now to move it, but let's just test it. npm run dev. We don't have to move to any new folder, and it's running on localhost 3000. Let's go back to Chrome. It's kind of similar. I can add a title, test. Does it work? Let me refresh. It did work and it stored the title, which is awesome. Now if we move it, it will show right here. Awesome. Now if I refresh, okay, this is absolutely great as well. And it didn't have to update the skill this time. It made use of what it already has because it had a better structure for the skill from the beginning. Let me start both in parallel. Let me use the fast mode with Gemini 3 Flash, which I love, by the way. How do I start the app on a different port? Awesome. Let's just copy it and paste it in the terminal right here. So it's on 3001 right now. Let me copy the link, go back to Chrome, open a new tab and paste it. So it looks like this. This one looks like this. I can't add the title here. It actually added the title for me. It's the topic I've told it to store. Awesome. This is also awesome, but I can't update it. I don't need a title to be good because I won't post it on Instagram. This is just for me to remember what this was about. So this one leaves us with the option to customize, but this one did it for us. I love both of them. This one created a more aesthetically pleasing interface, and I think this is something that Google is known for right now, Gemini is known for. I think like this app is better from an UX perspective, from how I interact with it. I feel like I can see more things at once. In here I can't even navigate to the next week or things like that. But again, we can just tell it to customize it and add these things that we want. But I just wanted to see what I do from the same exact prompts and from the same exact context. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, let's rate the apps. I prepared this table right here in Notion. I already added the table header, so let's just go ahead. So speed, not only how fast they were, but how fast I worked with them. I feel like I have to define a benchmark. So in terms of AI coding tools plus agentic chats, I would say they both are a 10. It took me almost the same time to build the same things in both of them. Now for output quality, again, this is pretty hard to rate because they were very close. So both made a mistake in the beginning with the skill creator, maybe because I haven't given them enough context, but they made almost the same mistake. Then when I actually built the Instagram content creator skill, I think I liked how Antigravity thinks more. I think it was a bit more specific and more creative than Claude. But then the app that Claude generated seems better, has more functionalities, so I'm gonna go with 9 for both of them. Now for ease of use, both are pretty easy to use, especially for someone who has some technical experience, but I'm gonna rate them from the perspective of someone who does not have any technical experience at all and who is trying to get into DAI. Of course, they have to learn how to use an IDE, but the benchmark here is a bit different. So let me just say here. From a non-tech perspective, the setup would be simpler for Antigravity because you just have to download it and run it. For Claude Code, you have to install it as an extension. But then I like how Claude Code keeps asking me questions and it's interactive, you don't have to write it in the chat every time. But still, I feel like Antigravity is better here. So I'm gonna give Claude a 7 and then Antigravity an 8. How well can it plan? You've seen how both of them plan. Maybe this is just a personal opinion, but I love how Antigravity creates a new file for the plan and then you can comment and then you can adjust it and then it can replan and all that stuff it does. Claude Code is also doing an awesome job there, but I feel like it's a bit more hidden. You have to respond in the chat with the changes you have to make. You can leave a comment and you don't see them that clearly in the sidebar, but I think this is just a thing that you get used to. So I'm gonna give Antigravity a 9. And then I'm gonna give Claude an 8.5. But I think this is just preference. Then for context, both did an awesome job. I can't complain at all. I feel like Antigravity did a better job because it even took the colors we had in our skill and it put them in the app. But Claude is also really good for this. So I'm gonna give Antigravity a 9 and then I'm gonna give Claude an 8. I feel like I have to add one more column, which is coding. Which one is better at coding? And then another one for design. And then we'll keep the overall builder experience as an average between all the other grades. Now for coding, I feel like both are really good. I feel like Claude did a better job. It worked from the first try. Antigravity had to self-heal, but it did, which is awesome. But I would grade Claude at 9 and then Antigravity at 8. For design, Antigravity does an awesome job. So it's the other way around here. I will give Antigravity a 9 and then Claude an 8. Claude Code comes at an 8.5 and Antigravity at an 8.85. I really didn't expect it to be this close. I love both tools. I've worked with both of them. I prefer Antigravity and I'll stick to it. But if the moment arises, I'll switch. If you know how to use one of them, then you can use both. They are very similar. Maybe in a few weeks the scores might flip because of the updates they keep pushing. I'm using it a lot for agentic work, not only for coding. I feel like Antigravity does a bit better overall there. So yeah. Now if you actually want to learn how to use Antigravity properly, I've made a full video for that. In there I built a full system from scratch, so you really understand how it works. Click that next and I'll see you there.